Love this. All right. Well, top of the morning, guys. Happy March 14th. Coming to you in a state of reflection, to say the least. So last night, I took myself to the hospital. And as you guys know, I've been battling kidney disease for this last year. It's the early stages of kidney disease, nothing too crazy. But my back has been killing me. And then right here, so I'm doing all the research. I'm like, oh my God, is it a gallbladder? I went in, I got a shot in my arm. And they did all of my panels and all my blood work and checked all of my organs. And so I was good. He's like, maybe because I've been feeling sick. He's like, maybe it's just body aches, but you're feeling it and you're a little nervous because of the kidney thing. So just super grateful that I didn't have to spend the night or have to be admitted into the hospital. And then I was up this morning super early preparing for a call on the East Coast. And so just coming to you guys, feeling okay health-wise, but just great that it was nothing like too bad and internally. So they had to do an ultrasound on my kidneys and on my stomach and on my abdominals. So overall, glad that I'm feeling okay. I'm going to turn it over to you guys to have somebody take us out on the field. Our sassy Latina, I'm going to actually turn it over to you, Ophelia. Ophelia, I'm going to have you bring us out on the field on this beautiful, beautiful Friday morning. Let's roll.
That's correct. Friday morning. I know that old age is creeping up on you.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? Sentiment of the day is that no one should have that much power over you. And when it happens, you zone back in. You're like, I am better than this. I know who I am, and I'm not going to give my power away. So should anybody snap off, pop off? That's a good one. But in all honesty, it's like, it's the weekend. We already know that we realtors don't take weekends off. So let's hustle. Let's get our stuff prepared, and let's just have that great attitude of abundance. We got this.
I love this. Well, I appreciate it. And I'm really glad that you started it off with this because I'm glad that Vernon's here too, because I want to talk to you guys about perspective, because in our life and in our business, we are in a constant negotiation, right? How many of you have kids? Please raise your hand if you have kids. All right. How many of you have a significant other? Please raise your hand. How many of you have cats? Okay. How many of you have more than 4 cats? Where's the crazy ones on the call? Okay. All right. So we didn't know it. So what we're always in is we're always in a state of negotiation. So what I wanted to ask you guys, and I'd love to hear this feedback. When someone pushes back on a objective that you have, an idea that you have, when a consumer is just really hard-headed and they're not seeing it your way, like what are some ways that you're having dialogue to help frame the conversation in a different way? Allow the room and the space for that person to be heard, felt, and empathize with their vantage point, because in their mind, they may be right. And then how do you reframe that conversation to give them clarity and give them context to really bring them home to what is actually needing to happen in that conversation? Now, it's important that we have this because all of you guys are up against the wall sometimes with your consumers. They see it one way and you see it another way, just like with our children, just like with our significant others. Well, I'm sure that if you're in a healthy relationship, you have found a way to understand the differences amongst each other. And what you've done is you've formed a way to be able to communicate despite differences to what? To come together in unity to make sure that we're moving together. I don't always agree with my wife. She doesn't always agree with me. But in the grand scheme of our life and in our communications, we are one. So I think that this conversation is applicable, and I gave it a lot of thought this morning. Vernon and I were on a call earlier this morning. I've given it a little bit of thought to say, this is what you face every single day. So my question to you guys, so just frame this, is how do you handle that when you are up against the wall with somebody that is really just hard to get through to? How are you reframing the conversation? What are the questions that you're asking? How are you being empathetic, but then stating your case and your position? I'd love to hear from you guys. And Vernon, you know exactly why we're having this conversation, so I would love your contributions on this as well. But I figured that it's applicable. It is real life. These are things that we're all dealing with. So I want to hear from you guys. So feel free to get involved in the conversation if you're really good at framework. And if you're not good at framework, there's a book that, once again, I want you guys to pick up, have this in your back pocket, print out the PDF and have this. Because at the end of the day, Christina, I hear you. I understand your position, but is it okay if I offer you a different perspective? Right. So it's lines like that that can say, okay, all right, I was hard headed about that situation. And then can I offer you a different perspective? So this is a skill, this is a trait, this is something that is a science. So I want to hear from you guys first and foremost. I'm going to open it up to Christina, then we'll go to Ashley, and then we'll get to all the other hands that are up right now. So Christina, start us off. I thought this would be a good conversation. So let's hear from you.
Yeah, I really love this because I think as we're talking to clients, a lot of times they're scared, they're hesitant, and we try to think, what can we do to talk to them to get them to feel comfortable to move forward, to even talk to someone like a lender or a realtor. So I think the one thing is trying to acknowledge first, I try to see what is it they're really scared of? Is it they're scared for me to run their credit, or is it they're scared they're going to be denied a loan that they haven't even applied for? And so as soon as I start talking to them, the first thing is I'll catch myself speaking slowly. Like if you speak slowly, it almost calms the person on the phone. Because as you guys know, I can be quirky, I can be loud, and I'm talking out with my hands, and da 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 da. But when I'm talking to a client that I can tell they're nervous, I'll slow myself down so that it gives them a calming feeling. So that's one thing, is speaking slowly, being calm, allowing them to feel heard, and then acknowledging if you hear, well, I don't know if I want you to run my credit yet. And I was like, okay, well, what are your concerns on that? And listening to them. And Cynthia Peterson taught me this, is like, put your hand over your mouth. And it will stop yourself from interrupting the person to let them talk, because we like to talk, right? I think if we're in this business where people, we like to talk, and we're excited and we want to encourage them to move forward. So I'll stop myself to like let them talk, hear them really what it is, instead of us assuming what we think they're going to say. And then you can acknowledge it. So that's one thing I personally really try to do. And I feel speaking slowly and going that way, like it kind of allows them to put their guard down a little bit to feel more comfortable.
I really, really like this. I love this. I love being able to just pause, nod your head a little bit, and then process. I think oftentimes when we're trying to get a point across, we're waiting for that entry point. We're waiting for that entry point. Okay, once you stop saying, I got something, right? I'm ready, right? I think that's how we're wired. Right? We think we need to have the next best thing. But I think that there's a power in that pause.
Yeah. And one thing I also learned from Christina Pineda was she said she had gone to a listing appointment with Kenny when she first started with the team. And, Kenny and Christina, they're totally two different personalities, types of people. And he said, he told her, he's like, you got to just be quiet. You got to understand the power of listening and what you are going to receive and hear, just being quiet. And she laughs and she talks about this to this day. She's like, it taught me so much, but it's so hard to do. But she's like, just trying to just be quiet.
Yeah, God, that's such a good one. I love it. Really, really good perspective. Let's go to Ashley. Ashley, same thread. You have somebody that might be a challenge of getting your point across. Like, how are you reframing that? Because everything that you guys do in communication is based on a framework, right? And I'll give you an example here before I pass it over to Ashley. Ashley, my purpose and my intention for you sharing right now is to contribute to the group in a way that they can get your point across. And so I want to make sure that we have open lines of communication so that we all understand each other. I think like when you go into a situation that's maybe a litigious situation, a difficult conversation, Ashley, the intention of me giving you this information and my hope is that you can hear the message and you can trust what I'm saying, and that you look past any of your preconceived notions about the market or whatever it is. And that's my hope from our conversation. So what you're doing early on in the conversation is you're knocking down some of their defenses, and what they're waiting for you to do is to deliver on that, right? I'm like, hey, here's my intention. My intention is to build some trust with you and for you to capture the message that I'm about to say in a way that you understand how it's going to impact your life or your business or your search or whatever that is. And so just little key nuances in communication. Let's go to Ashley. I'd love to hear this. You're a wonderful communicator. What do you got for us?
Thank you. And yes, you guys are saying things exactly in a way that supports exactly what I was about to say, is that my husband brought home a few years ago, when you're married for 9 years, you're going to have times when you're fighting and disagreeing. And he said to me a sentence that changed everything for our entire marriage. He said, Babe, it's not you versus me. It's me and you versus the problem. Let's put the problem on the table. We're on the same team. And so if you frame it like that, that goes with business, that goes relationships, that goes with kids. I'm not arguing with you. I'm on your side. It's me and you versus the problem. I'm on your team. We're going to figure this out together.
Yeah. God, the last thing that you want to do is feel like there's alienation in that context. Like that's the worst. That makes the fight even worse. Like, wait a minute, like we're in this together, facing whatever this is. And so really, really good stuff. That's smart.
To go back to what Christina said, half of arguments or half of misunderstandings, clients included, are tone. So if your tone feels argumentative because you know you're right because of your vantage point, all they're hearing is your tone. But if you reframe it, like you were talking about, if you reframe it, hey, I'm on your side. It's me and you versus the problem. Tell me what your full perspective is. Put your hand over your mouth, like Christina was saying. Tell me what your full perspective is. Okay, great. I understand. Now it's me and you, and it's versus the problem. Let's figure this out together.
Yeah, God, I love this. How many times, and just raise your hand, how many times have you felt like you were talking to a consumer or just in communication in general, and you felt like it wasn't the actual thing, meaning that they told you something but it wasn't the actual thing, and you could feel it, right? There was a vibration that was off, you could feel it, right? So what I'm hearing you say is that this is important and this is important, but I feel like there's something else. Is that everything, or is there more to the situation that I need to understand, right? Like, oh yeah, well, we're not interested. Okay, well, whatever that reason is, like, is there more to the situation that I need to understand so I can better understand and help you in the future? Okay, cool. Tell me a little bit more, because I noticed the tone when you said that thing. Is there something that I'm missing here? Can you elaborate on that? Tell me a little bit more so I can understand how I can better help you now or in the future. Like, you want to go layers and layers deeper. Sometimes surface answers are not the answer. That is them giving you sometimes a bluff. And then the skilled communicators are able to get past that initial wall. And when you get past that initial wall, what happens is that you create business intimacy, you create proximity, you create intimacy in your relationships, because now you're getting to the root. So without me saying, what's the root of the problem? No, I want to make sure I better understand your vantage point. Is there more that I need to know and understand about the situation? Tell me. Yeah, you know what, Elias, there's some things I wasn't telling you. I'm going through this, or whatever the case is. It allows room for us to get more information that we could respond accordingly to. Otis, let's hear from you, and then we'll go to Kelly, and then Otis, or Vernon, I would love your contributions on the conversation. And if you're just tuning in, you guys, we're having a conversation about how to frame a conversation when somebody is not picking up on your dialogue and what you're trying to put across, your points, your vantage points, your value add, whatever it is. Let's go, Otis. Otis, you're muted.
Could have sworn I didn't hear the beep. But great analogies. I actually use those. That was a great what you said, Elias, because a lot of times if you're listening to them, they're right. They're always going to spew something out, try to throw you off. Or once you get past that level, I call it breaking the ice. You break the ice wall. But I think analogies, like for them to understand you a little bit better. Like, hey, Elias, you watch the news, right?
Yeah.
Specifically, I know every day you watch the weather, right?
Yeah.
How many times has the weatherman been wrong? Hasn't he told you sometimes it's going to rain?
Yeah.
And it doesn't?
Yep.
So it's like a difference of opinion, right? Like me and you are having right now. So let's say that it is going to rain, even though you think it's not. But would you listen to me when I tell you just to bring a jacket or an umbrella? So bring in type analogies like that where you can like dumb it down for someone to understand you, like, and you to get some type of rapport. And then also, the fear mongering that you get from the media and stuff like that. It's like, does the media have a real estate license? No, I do. So, I just like to bring the facts and bring all of the data towards you. And then we can both make a decision, whether it's completely on the way you see it and half the way I see it. But I just want to make sure that we're on the same page of seeing it. So I think analogies and just, dumbing it down, because a lot of the verbiage in our world is very foreign to people that don't know it. So using other words, like when me and Jacob do buyer consultations, and even when I do them by myself, contingency just sounds like a fucking scary ass word. It makes me feel like, oh, I don't even want to fuck with that. Whatever that is, I don't want to fuck with it, right? But if you say, hey, Elias, I know this word sounds pretty scary, contingency, but I like to use the word insurance. You know, this is an insurance that if we don't have our loan together, we can walk away. This is insurance for you as a buyer in case you get these inspections and it doesn't go our way, that you can walk away. So these are insurances. Does that sound better? Is that way for you to understand instead of me just saying, oh, this is your appraisal contingency, and this is your loan contingency, and then, you know, we have to do this and do that. Now, when I say that's an insurance for you and Elias, so it's surely when you tell me I did listen to you, my friend, we're not going to write a non-contingent offer. I know you're a first-time home buyer. I know you have a lot of concerns. I want you to trust me, but not only take my word for it, take these insurances for it. That's a contract. This is a binding contract. So those things will be in place. So you will always have an out with me, my friend. So I just like to use those.
Really, really good stuff. And I really appreciate a few things that you said here. First off, a consumer doesn't know our lingo, and we do this all the time. It just comes out naturally. Yeah, I'm going to run the comps, right? No, you're going to pull up the recent sales in that area to show them what the house is listed for and then what they sold for. That way we can brainstorm on what the best strategy is based on what the market's doing. Does that make sense, Mr. Buyer? Wonderful. They don't know all of these words. Vernon and I were on a tech demo last week, and they're using acronyms that were BOMO and FOMO and COCO and LA and CA. And I had to keep stopping them. Hey, guy, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, right? So it is not their responsibility to interpret all of the things and decipher all of the things. It is our responsibility to communicate in a way that people receive the information the way that they need to receive the information. This is why studying speech patterns, communication, behavioral styles, and personality styles allows you to be able to adjust accordingly based on who's in front of you. Listen, if you come to a coaching session with me and you were just dancing around the answers, I'm going to push you. I need results. I need answers. I need definitive, right? Why are we doing this? Why are we not doing this? Like, tell me some truth. So we have to be very, very astute when it comes to learning about communication patterns, styles, personality, and being able to adjust accordingly based on who's in front of us. Let's go, Kelly. We'll go Dee Bledsoe. We'll go Patrick. And then I'll finally get over to Vernon. Let's go, Kelly. Thank you guys for all the contributions on this conversation thus far.
Hey, so this is kind of directly relating to my sellers that I'm dealing with right now. So they're 85 years old, and it was a referral from a friend. And she's like, I'm not even going to take a referral fee because this is going to be a challenge for you, right? So they don't want professional picture. Okay, so first of all, I did my whole seller consultation with them, right? And it just scared the crap out of them. They already had 2 agents come through that they just weren't comfortable with, you know, and like I said, they're 85 years old. So they didn't want professional pictures done. You know, they don't want to do open houses. They only want to have a broker open and then allow agents to come on, to come in with making appointments only. Anyway, you know, in my mind, I wanted to be really like, no, we got to stage, we got to fix your house up, we got to do this, we got to do this, you know, but I knew that I had to step back and talk slowly because first of all, the husband, he doesn't even read or write. And so this is a whole thing. And in my mind, it was like, okay, am I going to take on this project because it's a project? And yeah, so I'm learning that I have to go about this whole transaction differently than I would with any other transaction. And ultimately, my job and my passion is helping people. So I decided to keep moving forward. It's going live today. But yeah, you know, every situation is different. I have to talk extremely slow with these people. And so, yeah, I can relate to this a lot. And that, you know, like I said, every situation is unique and we have to adapt accordingly.
Yeah, really good stuff. Really good stuff. And I mean, somebody at 85, they grew up in a different time. They grew up in a different time. They see the world through a different prism. They see the world through a different lens. And you know, in those situations, when you sit down at the listing table, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, I know that you've spoke to a couple other agents. What is the most important thing that you want to cover today? I'm going to tell you about our process and our marketing and all that stuff, but what's most important to you? And what are you hoping to gain from our conversation today? And what are some things that I need to know about the home that maybe I can't see? And how about this? How about we talk about what's most important to you and leave all the other stuff, all the fluff for some other time. Is that okay? I want to talk about what's important to you guys. Like, get to the fucking point. People walk into a listing appointment with 17 pages of a bunch of shit that's not really going to apply to that consumer without just sitting there and asking them what's most important to you. I believe that what's most important to you is obviously the marketing, right? What I'm going to do to market the home, how we're going to prep the home, and then also what you're going to net, right? That's probably the most important to you, correct? Wonderful. And then choosing an agent. When you choose an agent, what are the most important characteristics when you want to choose an agent? They tell you that. Wonderful. Well, throughout our time together today, my hope is that you identify those characteristics that are important to you during our presentation. So let's go right in. So like slow it down. Like people bring like all these stacks and stacks and stacks of paper thinking that all those features and benefits are going to sell that. No, like get to the point of what's actually important to your consumers. Good stuff, Kelly. Let's go, Patrick. Then we'll go D. And then finally, I'm going to come over to Vernon. So don't go too far. Let's go, Patrick.
Yeah, good morning, guys. I just real quick, I'm actually dealing with an older clients right now too, like 75 and 77. So they have a lot of questions, a lot of objections, right? And what I'm finding really helpful is like you guys said already, doing pauses and talking really slow and almost talking to them like like a fifth grader, right? Like a kid, really walking them down. And um this may sound like a really elementary advice, but never use why when you're trying to get into an understanding with the questions. Like you don't start with why, start with how or what, right? Those kind of like starters, because then you get to the bottom of it or you get information that you may not even know exists. Like why are you yelling at me versus what is it that's making you yell at me, right? Like getting to the idea of it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why are you yelling at me? Versus what is making you so angry right now? Like,
Right.
it's a total different question.
Mhm.
Like if I'm sitting here on a coaching call with Ophelia and why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't this? Tell me what's standing in the way of you hitting the goals that you told me were so important to you. I need to understand so I can better serve you as a coach. Right? Like that is me saying, why didn't you do that, Ophelia? What is she going to do? What she is going to do is she's going to retreat. And she'd be like, fuck this motherfucker. Why is he always asking me why? Why? Because this and this and this. But if I just say, Ophelia, what's stood in the way of you accomplishing the things that are so important to you? Tell me what's going on so I can better help you and be in your corner. Right? You told me that this was important to you because of this, so you can have this for you and your family. Did I miss something? And is that still important to you? Well, that's still important to me. Okay. So then let's get through the challenges that we have with what's going on for the week. Why didn't you hit the metrics? All those things. Like I want to frame it in a way that she says, yeah, I can talk about this versus retreating. And that's what consumers do. They'll retreat on you if you why them. Why do you think that we shouldn't stage? Why do you think that we shouldn't do it? Like it's confrontational and it's adversarial versus them being your partners in this process. So really good stuff, Patrick. Let's go D Bledsoe. Then I will bring it back over to you, Vernon. Let's go D. I see a big smile. No off mute yet. His hand went down. All right, so we'll go to Vernon. Vernon, what's your contribution on this conversation? And you know why we're talking about this.
I do. And great example, great conversation piece. I think for me, what I learned from the call this morning, Ian, and the subject matter that we're talking about now is the importance of asking questions, but asking questions with an intention in mind. If you've read the book Limitless, you're aware of the 4 different brain types, right? Cheetah, owl, elephant, dolphin, and how they function. Well, if we can get some insight on the brain type that we're communicating with, we can begin to communicate with intention to understand based on the type of brain that we're communicating to. So that requires asking the proper questions in the right tonality. It requires us speaking their language according to how their brain ticks to be able to create some type of a common ground, right? This morning, it was a real short period of time for us to try to grasp Jen's brain type to then determine how to communicate and what questions to ask and what tonality. But that's extremely pivotal. I think that it's critical for efficacy of communication, right? What brain type am I talking to? I know you're a cheetah. I know you're flexible. You're adaptable. I know how your brain ticks. So being able to communicate with the client, with the lead, with the partner, from the perspective of how they interpret information, the language that they speak. And that's simply a result of asking questions to gain an understanding of that brain type that we're communicating to. That's gonna result in us being more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, whether or not you came from a background of, this amount of communication, well, knowing that that is your job, prospecting is your job, meeting people, then that is a skill that you need to develop if that's still a challenge for you. Like how to have these conversations, how to get people to open up, how to get people to just, share what's going on, like have an open dialogue. You guys, master a communication means that you master at sales, you master in your relationships. You guys, this is a lifelong practice, right? The way I communicate in my 40s is way different than I communicated when I was in my 20s. And so this is evolution, but it also takes you guys reading and practicing and trying new things and getting out of your own way and not leading the communication from ego. Rather, how can I provide value in this conversation? And what do I hear this person saying? What do I hear this person saying? And when you slow down, you actually listen to the words people say, you're going to find the message. And if you don't find the message, then you go a layer deeper. Tell me a little bit more. Tell me a little bit more. Elaborate. When you say that's important to you, tell me a little bit more. Right? And you dig and you dig and you dig. So really good stuff, Vernon. Heather, let's go over to you.
Okay, am I unmuted?
You are.
Okay. This may be a little bit reiterated on what was said earlier, but realistically, it's not about us. I think a lot of what we do as realtors, we always want to be out there. Pick us, we're the expert. We know. But when you go into a listing appointment or you're dealing with clients, it's not about us. It's about them. It's asking questions. It's finding their pain points and being the solution. What do you need? What are you looking for? What makes you nervous? And I think realistically with any person, it's being heard and understood, and anytime it just, if you have a solution, it's asking them, how do you feel about that? Are you comfortable with that? And just always making sure that they're comfortable with what you're doing,
Yeah.
and, and I think realistically, that's the biggest thing with people, especially when you're dealing with older clients. How do you feel about that? I understand this is scary. I realize how, this can all be intimidating, and I get that. But and a lot of it, like I said, just being understood and being heard is a huge thing for people.
Totally. That applies directly to our interpersonal relationships too. Your partner, they want to be heard, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they don't want an answer all the time. And I do that with my wife, right? She sometimes she wants to, talk to me about something. And then my mind as a coach, what am I doing? Is I'm trying to find a fucking solution and trying to coach her through that. When oftentimes she just wants to talk and let me listen, right? She just wants to, don't coach me right now, coach. Just listen. And so it's a practice for life as well as for business. So you guys, really good stuff. I thought it was applicable. It was fresh on my mind. So I thought I'd bring it here and got some really, really good feedback and really, really good stuff from you guys. I'm going to shift gears right now. We're going to talk about action. And the reason why I like this conversation is that it allows us to share with the group what action that we took this week. What were the milestones that we hit? Did we get into contract? Did we, win a hard fought battle for an appointment? What happened this week? What action did you take in your business? And what were the results? And the reason why I'm sharing this with you before I get the hands up, what's coming back, you guys? Do you know anything that's coming back? And it's starting on the 14th of April. You guys want to take a guess at what's coming back?
Intensity.
Vernon, you want to go?
The last time I did that in the database days, spoke out of place, you reamed me a new butthole. So I'm going to go back on the mute.
All right, you guys. Well, listen, we're going to officially launch our next round of intensity. No excuses, no bullshit, results only. You guys, listen. We're going to go full tilt once again. The next session is going to start April 14th. More information to come on that. For non-team members, we have raised the price. Anybody want to guess what the new price is? Anybody want to guess? No.
$300.
$400.
$100.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. The new price is going to be $497 for anybody that is a non-team member. And so that is people
Come
signing.
on, E, you gonna cheat me out of $3, bro? 500.
So we don't have to pay that, bro. You got a friend in the industry that's not on our team, they have to pay it. But I believe that the value is in the package. I'll drop that link in a little bit just to start our interest list. And once again, if you're a team member, you do not have to pay for that. But if you're a non-team member, then yeah, go full tilt with us. I promise you that will be the best $500 that you spend on your life, business habits, and influence in the industry.
And
More
you guys,
information.
I just want to put that in, just want to put something in the context, you guys. You know, we're not putting our business out in the street. We keep everything team fast, but just within this closed space, just so that you guys know, teams are paying us $10,000 to facilitate intensity for their teams. Okay, facts. This is not a theory. This is not a dream. That call that we were on this morning at 7 a.m. is because the team that we're partnering with, who is a major producing team within the EXP world, is bringing us in to facilitate intensity. They're on the East Coast, 7 o'clock our time, 10 o'clock their time. So when you think about growth investments, I want you to look at it as a seed. Now, it doesn't apply to you guys on this call because you're part of Team Fast and you don't have to you don't have to invest a growth investment, if you will. But just putting it into context, just as 297 was history and now it's 497, 10,000 will very soon be history and it'll be a different number. But the point of the matter is people all over the country are seeing the value in investing in submitting or sowing a seed of a growth investment because they recognize the outcomes, the output, and the impact of intensity in their life, in their business, and in their personal world. Just want to put that out there for you so that you guys understand or have a deeper insight into the fertile ground that you are investing into and the fertile ground that you guys are planted in. So let's go. Looking forward to seeing you in the classroom.
You guys, it's really humbling to think that people are going to, and even if you're on this call and you paid for the last time, like it's really, really humbling. So I'm not going to let you down. Vernon's not going to let you down. Don't let yourself down. And when I think about what we do here in coaching, and this applies to intensity and it applies to everything that we do in Keep It Moving. And I'm going to share this. And Vernon, it's the first time that anybody is seeing this. And this is something that we have coined and that we have made the premise of what we're moving forward.
Giving it to him. You feeling yourself this morning, huh?
Bro, I'm on one right now. But this is called the psycho effect. And I'm not saying I'm going to make you a bunch of fucking crazy mad women and men. That's not what I'm saying. Psycho being short for psychological. Think about the impact that we've had in this group. Think about your impact that you've had, within your own circles. And I look at this as what we do here is all about the psychological impact, as well as the emotional equity that each of you are developing within your own lives, health, business, and relationships. So when we unpack this psycho effect, this is what coaching allows you to do. Now, intensity is a very, very, tight sprint to get you, conditioned. But think about what we've done here. Psychological conditioning. You guys have developed relentless execution habits. If you've spent any time with me, I believe that you are performing at a very high level. You have a psychological resilience. You're able to master the ability to thrive in adversity and high pressure situations. How many of you have felt pressure at any time working with me as a coach? Have you felt pressure? Good. Your psychological identity, construct an unbreakable, success-driven persona that there's no way. Otis is moving forward. Otis will make it happen. Antu will make it happen. She just got in a contract, which ultimately leads to a psychological threshold. That means that you break mental and professional barriers to unlock next level of successes. You guys, this is what we're leading with in the entire program, but it's applicable to what we do 3 times a week. This is called the psycho effect. We are diving into you guys, mind, body, and spirit to make sure that you are well-rounded humans, because when you're a well-rounded human, then we can impact the agent and all of the metrics make sense. But if we can't impact you on a human level and get into the psychology, into the emotions of why you were actually doing this business, then all you're going to hear is a bunch of white noise and a bunch of words that do not connect. Does that make sense? Does anybody have anything to say on that vein? And don't leave me hanging. We thought about this deep and hard for a long time. Anybody have anything for me? Nobody has anything to say? All right, cool. Let's go, Kelly, and then we'll go to Nicole Penland.
I'm excited to do another round of intensity. And I appreciate you and Vernon, and thank you so much for all you do for us, inspiring us, taking us, lifting us up and pushing us. It's greatly appreciated. And there's a reason why people are offering you 10 G's to do this group coaching. So I just want to give my heartfelt thank you to you guys. That's it.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you saying that. Let's go, Otis, and then I'll go back to Nicole.
Same thing. After yesterday doing my intensity recap video, just wanted to let you guys both know how much it meant for me, Coach E, Coach V. Y'all definitely are innovators. You guys are ahead of the game. That's why you guys are going ahead and getting these companies to give you this money. For those who didn't take it, take that shit, man. I'm someone who's been doing consistently well for the last 2 years, but I needed that shit. Like, it gave me, I joke around, like I tell people, like, I was the one that didn't have a deal for a whole fucking year. And then all of a sudden, it slowly started happening for me, but I didn't really know what to do. I got lucky. You guys put me on Ojo and I got that first one. I still remember Brendan and Trisha. They were the sweetest old couple. Got that house in Vacaville, and online leads just kind of went for me, but I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't know what to do. They, like in the hood, we call it jumping off the porch. I jumped off the porch and just started buying and selling. And you guys gave me a blueprint, AKA Bible to, when I'm off my shit, all right, well, let's tone it down a little bit. Instead of, 3 reels, let's do a reel a week. Let's do 3 home tours. Let's do our CRM daily because we still need to do that. So I just toned it down a little bit. But you guys have given, a reawakening to my business and how to structure it really in the most simplest ways. It's just a lot and it's just intense because it's so much to do in a week's time. But I can't thank you guys enough because look where I'm at. Look where Jacob's at. And just see the strength and power that's behind Gary Archer. Like, I know we're gonna be good for the rest of the year. So thank you guys for starting my year off right and keeping this old dog, re-energized.
Let's go. Let's go. And you guys, by no means at all is this, I want to at least share this with you, but the purpose of this message is to allow you guys to reflect on the impact that coaching can have and has had in your life and in your business. But most importantly, if you have an idea, if you have a dream, if you have a vision, if you want to build something, then build it. Build it. Keep It Moving wasn't anything 3 years ago, and now it's something. They hired Bill Pipes for their last quarter, and they're hiring Keep It Moving for the next quarter. Like,
Let's go.
It gives me chills. Like, it gives me chills because if you guys can see anything, and I've been an example for anybody on this call, like, if you have a dream, then go and build it. Do I have all the answers? No, I don't have all the answers, but I'll tell you what, I got the passion and I got the fire, and I'm going to go out there and just do what I do, and I'm going to impact lives. You guys all have the ability to go and build something. And I just want to share that with you because I could not be more grateful. Let's go to Nicole Penland. I think Nicole Penland's hand was up about action, and then we'll go to Brandy. So Nicole, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I want to say something about action as well as.
Oh, this is big. This is big action. Let's go, Nicole.
So, yeah, I got in contract this week.
Hey.
I've had bubble guts because this is my largest transaction. So I'm really excited about that. But
Hold on.
Okay.
You said biggest transaction. We didn't hear no numbers. Let's hear it, Nicole.
2,025,000.
Lord.
Let's go.
Yeah. Ooh, emotional, y'all know I cry. And it's like perfect timing too, because today's my baby's 13th birthday and Sunday's my dad's 67th. So very excited. We're gonna be turning up all month. And for intensity, before the holiday, you said that we were gonna have a seller's intensity. And that got me like super, super juiced. Is that what this next round is or no?
No.
Okay. Okay, because I was like, I want a piece of that pie. Damn it.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day, but that framework has not been built out yet. So it would hold the integrity of the program to launch something that is not complete. But Nicole, like, congratulations. Tell us how you originally got that deal or got that lead.
Door knocking for an open house.
Oh, fuck. Say it again one more time.
Door knocking for an open house.
Oh, geez. And for the people.
Elias, are you recording this? Are you recording
It's recorded, bro.
Holy shit.
It's recorded. So I absolutely love this. For the people that don't know, Nicole's battled cancer in this last year. She has 2 boys. She does it on her own. $2 million. Think about that. That opportunity for her and her family. That's a very nice payday for her and for her family. So you have every reason to celebrate. And listen, despite health barriers, challenges, whatever, she shows up for her. She shows up for her family, and she's always in coaching. So Nicole, we love you. We appreciate you. Congratulations on your largest transaction of your career.
A personal note, when I was door knocking with and I met the client, we were having a conversation and he told me that he lost his mother and his aunt to cancer. So he's got like, because I was going through my things while I was still out there door knocking, and he was like, I'm fucking with you. Like, I'm going to be buying some property soon and I want you to be my agent because I see that no matter what, you're out there. So
Wow. That vulnerability, that realness. God, we could stay here all day long. Congratulations to Nicole. Congratulations on all of your success. I'm going to go over to Brandy, then we'll come back over to the other two hands. Brandy, let's go to you. We love you, Nicole.
More about intensity. I did my video yesterday with Patrick, and I mean, I kind of said the same thing as Otis. I called it a playbook. Intensity is definitely like your playbook. I mean, every coach has to bring, some plays to the players, and it's up to the players on how they're really going to play that, And in the video, I shared a little bit more on a personal level of the last round of intensity and how it got me there and stuff like that. But the psycho effect, Elias, you hit the head on the nail. It's the passion. So if you do not have the passion for your dreams or the passion to build your business, if you want to stay mediocre, then you will. But intensity will definitely next level that. If you didn't have passion, you'll either find that you do have passion. And if you don't have passion, then I mean, that's why you strike out. So yeah. And I'm saying that coming from somebody that does have a lot of passion. And when I was in intensity, I was like, all right, let's go. People are going to start seeing really how crazy I am and really how much, and then I was just like, geez, like I remember crying one week, like, really, Brandy, 5 kids and you had to do 5 open houses. And I was like, yep, every open house is one for them, one for them, one for them.
Wow.
And I remember feeling just so exhausted, but it wasn't an exhausted of a burnout. It was an exhausted of let's go. Let's keep running this passion. Let's keep lighting that fire. And so like, if anyone is on this call who hasn't done it, do it. Do it, because your business should be intense. Your life should be intense. You should care that much about, I mean, I don't know what else. Like, if you want success, why not do intensity? How come you're doing intensity?
Yeah, well, I love this. That was not the intention. I can't wait to see you guys' videos. I'm humbled. We're gonna shift gears to go to Vernon, and God, thank you. Appreciate that. Let's roll, Vernon.
Shit, man, I'm fucked up over here. How many of you guys have heard of IQ? Intelligence quotient. Raise your hand. Like, I want to see some interaction here. Yeah. IQ. Okay. Mainstream academia gauges your level of success based upon IQ. But I say fuck that. Listening to Brandy, watching Nicole work. How many of you heard of AQ?
I haven't.
It is not based on your IQ that will determine your success. I would argue and present the fact to you that AQ, your adversity quotient, your ability to overcome and engage and withstand adversity, to stand tall through it all. Don't give a fuck if you got 5 kids like Brandy or if you're battling cancer like Nicole and still win. Adversity quotient is the equation that ensures or that gauges your success. Fuck the IQ. Focus on the AQ. And let's see where you stand in adversity quotient as it relates to your success. Let's fucking go.
You guys, really, really powerful session today. You know, obviously, I always want to keep a fresh perspective. Now, obviously, there's going to be continuity, there's going to be consistency, and there's always going to be a message to deliver every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But, you know, just like you guys are trying to find ways to keep things fresh, we're trying to keep things fresh with you guys as well, right? Like that, there's 12 sessions every single month. I have to write, I have to listen, I have to read, I have to make sure that we're having conversations that are going to say, I want to go back. I want to go back on Monday. And that's important to me. So you guys, thank you for all your contributions at a very high level today. I'm going to go around the room, just get some key thoughts and some key takeaways from everybody today. Let's go over to Stephanie. We'll go over to David because I think, David, this is your first Keep It Moving group coaching. Let's go to Stephanie and then we'll go to David. And then if I have time, we'll get to the other people. Let's go, Steph.
So my big takeaway for today was delivery, right? How we just a reminder to take a step back, listen, you know, how to speak with the clients, make sure that everybody wants to be heard. I can't remember who said it, but everybody wants to be heard. Somebody said that. And it was just a reminder because I have had difficult clients lately. You know, people still think that there's a crash coming, rates are too high. And when I hear somebody say rates are too high, it like triggers me and I have to kind of hold back because for those of us, you know, we know what rates have been like historically, right? And realistically, rates are not high. We're just coming off of a period of time where rates were extremely low, abnormally low. So everybody's hypersensitive to the rates that we have now, which realistically are very normal, right? But I can't say that right off the bat to a client, right? They're going to be like, who's this lady? I can't be combative. So taking a step back, listening, that was just a reminder. Everybody wants to be heard. So stop, listen, and then provide feedback, you know, but always be as graceful as possible. So I really love that because it's true. Everybody wants to be heard. And you never know what somebody's going through that you don't know about. You know, everybody has lives, right? So just being extra caring with everybody, I think it will really help us kind of get ahead.
Well, I appreciate your perspective at a very high level. So thank you for sharing. Let's go over to David. David, let's hear from you, my man. Thoughts and contributions from your very first Keep It Moving group coaching.
You know, it's like I said, I've been an agent for like all of a few days. So my key takeaways are more just kind of taking note of everybody's approach to conversations, kind of learning to read the customer, slow down, and just address their concerns, you know, and just kind of be gentle, be careful, and just kind of read the room and learn, you know, to approach it as to, you know, how can I best serve them and like kind of address those fears that people seem to have, like, you know, looking at the stack of paperwork in front of you or, you know, things like that. And
yeah,
also,
really good stuff.
Also this intensity thing, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. So if somebody can forward me some information about that.
Yeah, so the link is down below. Intensity is the ultimate high level accountability group. No excuses, no bullshit, results only. It's a 6-week, let's call it a boot camp to just get people into high production. I would personally, if I was you, David, I would wait for the next round since your onboarding stuff isn't even done. I would wait that way you're really set up for success. Okay, there'll be a next one. Don't feel pressured to do this one. I don't feel that you have the foundation set yet, but come next one, you'll be ready to fire.
Gotcha.
All right, let's go, Blessing.
So this was an amazing session. I'm going to cut my camera just so that I don't get cut off. From the very first comment, all I kept saying this entire drive is listen, we listen and we don't judge. We can't judge our consumers, but most importantly, we can't judge ourselves. Listen to whatever the fear or the voice or the obstacle is, and then get rid of it. Because if we absolutely remove the excuses and the judgment, we'll see exactly what's in our way. And if you're in this room, then you're someone who we don't stand for obstacles. We don't allow anything to get in our way. We've got dreams. We've got really big goals, each and every one of us. And I know, Nicole, we celebrate you for every single time you show up in the big ways that you do. So congratulations. And thank you for the example that you set for us, because if you can do everything that you're doing, there's not anyone else that has an excuse. And some of us might be battling something that's not as visible as, you know, as cancer or as visible, whatever it is. We all have an obstacle that's begging for us to destroy it and let that be our story. And when we overcome, we can go to our consumers and say, I know you have a fear. Here's what mine was. Here's how I got over it. Let me help you. And then that's what's going to open the door. But we also don't have to win every single person, but we do win when we show up.
Wow. Really good stuff, Blessing. I love that contribution. I'm going to go to Toots. Toots, you're going to be the last contribution of the morning. Share with us one key thought, one key takeaway before we head out.
Toots.
Good morning, y'all.
Toots, I got to tell you this. I'm going to be honest with you. You're looking lean.
What's that?
You're looking lean fighting machine.
Yeah, I've been dieting since the beginning of the year because all this baby weight was not it.
Right, looking lean.
Well, thanks the intensity thing too. Like it really helped. But my key takeaway for today's session was fuck your feelings and get to it. I'm really grateful for all of you guys, especially Coach Vernon, Coach Elias. I fell off a lot last year, but this year starting intensity, like that shit really like burned the fire, and I'm out there getting it, and no excuses ever.
I love it. I love it. Will you say hello to the family? Super, super glad to have you here as always. Let's wrap with Angelica Franco. Angelica Franco, you're the last contribution of our session. Let's hear from you.
Okay, I really connected with everyone said today, and I appreciate it, and I love these calls, and it's sometimes I can only get on Fridays. So I did want to go a little off topic. I have a guest on today. His name is Israel, and he's
I meet Israel tonight, I think, or later today.
Yeah, so he's excited to join, and he'll be taking his test soon. So I just wanted to introduce him.
Yeah, he's been here a few times. I think I met him last week. But Israel, thanks for being here, my man. Listen, 2 hours a day, concerted effort of focused studying, and then go take that test. When your exam practice tests are over 85%, you're ready to go. You're ready to go, but make sure you commit to 2 hours a day. You guys, thank you for being here. More information to come on intensity. We got tons of promotion that we're going to do over the course of the next couple of weeks, but the official date will be April 14th. Now listen, share that with your friends that are not at our brokerage. Share that with your, people that are looking at elevating in different ways in their life, business, health, and relationships. We're going to go full tilt. Some of the things will be the same, but some of them will be completely different because we're going to lean into this psycho effect. And so, really great stuff. Vernon, appreciate you being here. Man, so this whole psycho effect, man, like the power of just writing. We were in a session, we were whiteboarding. Vernon took me through this really powerful exercise. And I remember the book Psycho-Cybernetics. I'm like, how can we make that part of what we're doing here? And then it just developed to what it is now. And then we're going to roll with that psycho effect, my man. So appreciate you. Let's go, you guys. As always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and get out there and have a powerful, powerful weekend. We love you. Peace.